Hello. All right. 9.3, you're supposed to do problems 81, 82, 85, 86, and 88. It's 5 problems worth 5 points each. And these are super easy problems that you didn't even really need to show work for. So how about that? Isn't that cool? All right, so find the inverse of each function. For this one, we know that this is a move to the right 7, and the inverse of going to the right is going up, and the inverse of a cube root is a cubic. So the inverse function, f inverse of x, should equal, it's a cubic, and instead of going right 7, it's going up 7, so x cubed plus 7 is the answer. Now you could have done this by changing f of x to a y, Freaky Friday, switch x and y's places, and solve for x, or sorry, solve for y, and you can get the same exact thing that way. You would just show all your work for that, okay? So if you're not understanding how to do it the shortcut way, you can do it the long way, which is only a couple seconds longer. It's no big deal, but you can totally do that. All right, letter B, g of x. Now this one is a little tricky because of that 3 out front. So for this one, I'm not going to do the shortcut method because that 3 throws it off. So I am going to Freaky Friday this. So sometimes we can, sometimes we can't. And we'll have 3 times x plus 5. All right, Freaky Friday. So x equals the cubed root of 3 times y plus 5. Okay, and now we need to undo that radical. So that means we need to undo the cube root. So we have to cube both sides. Bring it up here. That will give me an x cubed equals poof. The 3 times y plus 5 gets to come out. I want to get rid of that 3 in the front, so I'm going to divide by 3. Remember, there's a 1 out front of that x, so I'm just going to bring it out as a 1/3 x cubed equals y plus 5, and then subtract 5 from both sides, and we'll get y equals 1/3 x cubed minus 5. So the inverse of g inverse of x, is going to equal 1/3 x cubed minus 5. So let's look at this and analyze it a little bit. So to go to the left 5 means the inverse would be going down 5. And that 3 in the front, that is a vertical stretch. So we have to flip it, and its reciprocal gives us a vertical shrink. Okay. The only thing is that this is inside of a cubed root. And there is a shortcut to teach you guys how to convert from the cube root with a number on the inside to a number on the outside on its inverse, but I don't want to confuse you guys. So when you get these, just Freaky Friday it like normal. Don't take the shortcut and you'll get there. All right, number 82. Yeah, we have to do 82 is next. It says sketch the function f of x equals x plus 4 quantity cubed and its inverse f inverse of x on the same set of axes. Okay, so I'm going to start with this, and I know that this is shifted to the left 4 units. And this is a cubic, okay? So the cubic, well, all of them start at 0, 0. Go to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the parent function has a point up 1 over 1 to the right, down 1 over 1 to the left. And we know that it goes like this, like this. So I should have made this more curvy this way, but that's okay. All right, so there's my cube root, or my cubic, x plus 4 quantity cubed. And now we need to inverse it. So this is f of x. So to inverse it, all we have to do is, we could do this a couple ways. We could take each of those 3 points that I marked and Freaky Friday them. Or we can know, well, f inverse, inverse minus 1. Of x is going to equal, well, the opposite of left 4 would be down 4, and the inverse of a cubic is a cube root. So cube root of x down 4 would look like that. So it's just from the parent function shifted down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it has one up 1 over 1 this way, and down one, left one that way, but it's the sideways squished us. So you really have to know which one you're graphing. The cubic is more upright, it's more vertical. The cube root is more horizontal. So that's how you can distinguish the difference between the two. All right, I don't know why that one looks so weird. I graphed it weird because my hand got shaky. But there's the graphs, that's what it should look like. We don't do 83 or 84, so nope. But we do 85. So let's take a look at that. It says, which is the inverse of h of x equals 1/2 cube root of x minus 3? Okay, so let's see. I know that this is a move to the right 3 units. Okay, and the inverse of going to the right would be going up. So we need one that's going up 3. This one's going left 3. This one, it looks like it's going left 3, but because of that 2 out front, it's really not. This one's going up 3, and this one's going left 3. So B is the only one that's close. That one should be a no-brainer. You could Freaky Friday it by hand algebraically. In fact, that's what I did originally on my notes for this problem. But the inverse of right 3 is up 3, and the only one that shows up 3 is that one. So you don't even really need to do much work for that one. Easy 5 points. Number 86 says, for the function f of x, does f of negative x equal negative f of x? So we have to try out each one of these. Okay, so let's figure out what f of negative x is for each one of these problems. So that means we're plugging in a negative x for all the x's there. So that would be 2 times negative x cubed times negative x cubed. Well, negative x cubed is still negative x cubed. So this is a negative times a negative, which is a positive. So that is a 2 times x cubed times x cubed. So 2x to the 6, but so is it the negative form of this function? No, it's not. So that's not it. I want to look for the one that is. Okay, so let's try the next one. Plug in a negative x. So 2 times negative x cubed times negative x cubed times negative x cubed. Well, this is still negative, this is still negative, this is still negative. And negative times negative times negative is still negative, so this is negative 2 times x cubed times x cubed times x cubed, which is x to the 9th. So this is negative. So that one is true. When we plug in a negative x, we make this function the same thing, but negative. So that's true. But we need to check the other two. What if there's more than one correct answer? Because sometimes that happens. So let's check. So let's plug in an f of negative x into this function. So we have a negative out front, and then negative x cubed, negative x cubed. So negative x cubed is still negative, negative x cubed is still negative, so I have a negative times negative times negative, which equals a negative x cubed times x cubed. So it's exactly the same. So if it were the negative function, that means that this would turn positive, but because it's exactly the same, it didn't change. So it's not it. And let's try the last one. So negative x squared, negative x cubed. So negative x squared is positive. Negative x cubed is still negative. This is still negative. This is still negative. Negative times negative is positive. Positive times positive is positive. Positive times negative is negative. And so this is still going to be negative x squared, x cubed. So it's still the same thing. So it did not change, so it's not it. So B is the only correct answer. All right, last one, number 88. Says, because we were skipping 87. No 89, no 90. Says the cube root functions g of x equals the cubed root of x over n and f of x equals the cube root of x plus 2 have the same value for x equals 6. Find n. Okay, so since this one only has the x variable, I'm going to start there and find f of 6. That means we're going to plug in a 6 for the x value. 6 plus 2 is 8, so that's the cubed root of 8. 8 is a perfect cube, and the cube root of 8 is a 2. Okay, so since they have the same value for x equals 6, that means when I plug in a 6 for x here, it's also going to equal 2. So when I plug in a 6 for x, this is still going to equal 2 because when they plug in a 6, they both equal 2. They both have the same value. That's what that means. All right, so we need to undo the cube root, which means we have to cube both sides because whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. Poof, 6 over n comes out. 2 to the third is 8. We need to get n out of the denominator there so we can multiply it to both sides so that it cancels out here. And I'll get 6 equals 8n. Divide both sides by 8. N equals 6 over 8, which reduces to, let's see, 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 8 4 times, so n is 3/4. And there you go, that's it.